Hi and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is VlogsBoutNothin. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy Sunday to join me. I really appreciate it. And if we're all being honest with one another, I hope that you did absolutely nothing. You know what I mean? Because that's what we advocate here for. Nonetheless, I hope that you guys are getting ready for a good and wonderful work week. You feel me? There's not really anything special going on this week other than, I guess, the end of July and the beginning of August. you know? So, again, thank you so much to the new viewers and new subscribers. You make everything so worth it. And trust me, for a guy that looks for meaning in his own life and sort of an existential kind of a way without needing money or anything else, you feel me? I just genuinely appreciate you taking the time out of your life to be here with me. You know what I mean? Eventually, there will be hundreds of thousands of people here joining us every night. I stream 4 times a day. If you're not already a subscriber, please consider subscribing. Get all notifications, and yeah, we're doing 4 streams a day at least until the end of the year with even bigger plans for next year. I'm always a seasonal person, so I'm just trying to make it through the summer. Honestly, I'm a Scorpio. I'm a fall baby. I'm looking forward to the summer. But nonetheless, let's talk about drop shipping, okay? So, link in the description below to a couple of really, different kinds of perspective on what drop shipping is and how it impacts us on a daily level as being consumers. And sometimes, buying things online in particular, we don't really ever know if it's been drop shipped. Okay, so drop shipping was, as far as I'm concerned, a scam, 10 years ago. Drop shipping does nobody any good, and it sort of makes it so that there are very few people responsible, legally, arguably, nobody, if your product is, misshipped or not the kind of quality that you want, and just, at the risk of convenience and being expedient, we now have a world in which you're just never quite sure where that product comes from. If you're a seller, and so drop shipping is when you sell products online that you never actually hold, right? They're either shipped by a third party or shipped by the manufacturer, or I'm not sure how it works. I've never really looked that much into it, and that's because it's never made sense. It never makes sense to have a third party involved in anything. Honestly, I mean, you really always want to try and go direct to consumer, farm to table, person to person, peer to peer. These are the most effective methodologies of trying to, convey anything and so forth. And I'd include that with, the economy and the economic system, in that drop shipping, again, does nobody any real good because it isn't transparent, and again, it makes it so that liability is little to none on behalf of the seller. And so, you know, Amazon, for example, is notorious for drop shipping, right? Just because it makes sense to them with their distribution, with their warehouses and so forth. Um, I'd argue that it's a lot more costly to do that privately than it would be just to utilize the postal service and pay, employees to deliver your items instead of the current model that Amazon uses, right? Most notably because they're the biggest company that involves shipping and drop shipping and so forth. Pay them better instead of as independent contractors or whatever. You know what I mean? So I just think that drop shipping is a terrible idea. I've never been a fan of it. And again, a person may benefit from it, but it's exclusively just that individual. And while, again, at the risk of ease and convenience, you don't have the connection with your consumer base as you should, right? You do want to have a relationship with your clients, with your consumer base. If not, then, it's really hard to stay successful, I would argue, in the modern world, just simply because even though there is Amazon and Prime and drop shipping, we're entering a world where Walmart is very competitive in that they have a brick and mortar. They offer it like same day delivery on all of their products. They offer pickup. They offer, like, in store, out store. Like, there's something real special about operating a Walmart, I'd say, and competing with somebody like Amazon, because while Amazon may have like these hundreds of thousands of square foot, distribution centers, it's not like you can go in them and buy products directly from them. Although I'm sure that they're thinking about something like that, because why wouldn't you turn your actual infrastructure into actual infrastructure? You know what I mean? Even if it is just selling bulk products out the side of the warehouse. I mean, I'm sure they'll get around to doing this. But in the meantime, you currently can't go to an Amazon distribution center and just buy stuff. There's a really cool movie called The 40-Year-Old Virgin, where this old lady is dating Steve Carell in the movie, and she runs an eBay store back when running an eBay store brick and mortar was like unheard of. And still these places exist, but they're not as prevalent and or pervasive as you think they might be, because overhead is really high. But nonetheless, there have been places in the past, and I'd argue that still exist, where you can go in and buy things from the eBay seller themselves that have a leased or owned brick and mortar building, as well as being able to buy their stuff online. Kind of like a pawn shop. You know what I mean? Pawn shops are great for this, because pawn shops also have the infrastructure and also have the storage space and also are just able to ship things directly to the consumer from there. So there's so many different better ways of shipping things that, again, I think drop shipping is bad for the consumer, it's bad for the business, it's only good for the third party middleman. And again, we should really refrain from having to use third party communication, especially as consumers, when it directly pertains to any of the products that we use, just because, again, we do want that relationship with the manufacturer or company that is not only just making the product, but, in an indirect way related to you because of the store that's selling and or carrying their product. This is how the free market works, and I'm excited to talk about this stuff all day. Unfortunately, we've talked 7 minutes about it, and so I hope that everyone's doing real well. Again, I always wait to the end of the videos to sort of like show like the most mad love in the least creepy way possible to all of y'all. You know what I mean? The channel's doing well. Again, am a patient guy, and I look forward to sharing my life and my daily activities with everyone. There are even bigger plans for next year that I'm currently working out. So, there's so much to look forward to on the channel. And just by you guys subscribing and hitting that thumbs up, it helps out a bunch, and I really appreciate that. So I hope you guys are safe tonight. I hope that you do nothing, honestly. It's Sunday, just chill, you feel me? Kick in a VHS tape and hang out with the roomie, you know what I mean? I hope you guys have a lovely evening. Thank you so much again for joining me, and until next time, bye.